like to begin by welcoming everybody to this dedication ceremony for Officer Larry Candelari. And at this time, I would like to ask everyone to rise and turn around for the presentation of the colors, please.
Old guard, forward, march, no, 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 march, now, left wheel, march, guard, hold, present, colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were still gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Every colors. Up wheel, march. Forward, march. No, 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 no. Guard. Over here, colors.
Will you join me as we pray? Our Father, we come into your presence this morning and ask your blessings as we gather for this dedication ceremony to honor the life and memory of Larry Dale Candelari. Thank you for bestowing upon him the gift of servanthood. This gift was evident in his service to his family, to his country, and to this community as a police officer by protecting lives and property of its citizens. It was, however, undeniably evident this last April while returning from a deer lease, even though he and Officer Mike Huffman were off duty and out of their jurisdiction, they stopped to render aid at a traffic accident near Kerrville. Tragically, this willing to serve cost him his life. We gather here to honor him and hear his picture alongside the other fallen officers who gave ultimately the supreme sacrifice, and will remind all who pass by of his heroic and selfless service to his fellow man. A granite marker will be dedicated in front of this station next to the flag of the country he loved. Father, may his selfless example serve to inspire every citizen of Pasadena and beyond to step outside of themselves as our people in need of a helping hand. But Father, this morning I ask your richest blessings upon the dear family as painful memories are relived this morning. Comfort them, guide them. Father, provide them with the peace that surpasses all understanding as they go through this painful period of adjustment in their lives without one as dear as life itself. Kindle within them the blessed hope of a reunion in heaven with their loved one. Father, I ask these blessings in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please be seated. Well, this is overwhelming. I want to tell everyone thank you for attending today, this dedication ceremony to show support for the Candelari family and to remember Larry. It's important that we understand that the promise that we made at his funeral service, that we'll always be there for the family, that we keep that promise. It's not something we take lightly. And I'll tell you that We take that obligation very seriously, and your presence here today helps indicate to the family that we will always be there for them. Today, obviously, doesn't mark the end of that commitment. Instead, it's just another indication of our continuing commitment to be there for the family. And to Julie and all the Candelari family, I want you to know, if you ever need anything, all you need to do is ask. Just speak, and we will always be there for you. That'll never change. I also want to thank all the dignitaries who are here today. I mean, it's also overwhelming to see all of important people with important schedules who are here to show support for the Candelari family. Mayor Isbell, thank you so much for being here today. Mayor Isbell comes from a law enforcement family. His father served many years in the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and he knows the sacrifices made by a law enforcement family. And council members Van Hout, Lehman, Morrison, thank you so much for being here. State Representative Mary Ann Perez, thank you so much for being here. And you were very instrumental, obviously, in the resolution, the state that I'll be reading a little later on with the unveiling of Larry's picture. Thank you so much for your help. And for the others who are here, Andy Helms, our Chief Financial Officer for Pasadena, Randy Perry, Director of Human Resources, Richard Scott, Director of Community Relations, Kirby Cardenas, Director of Parks and Recreation, and also there are others here that I want to acknowledge. Bill Bailey, former constable, he's representing Rosewood Funeral Home, who made the contribution of the marker that we're going to dedicate here lately. Another indication of how the community comes together to support our family and the family of our fallen officers. In addition to that, Chief Henry Pareto from Galveston, he's here with some of his command staff, as well as Chief Stuart Russell from Pasadena Independent School District, and Ken Adcox, Chief Ken Adcox from LaPorte. Thank you so much all for being here. Again, it helps to indicate to the family how important Larry was to us and his service was to all of us. Law enforcement is filled, or the profession of law enforcement is filled with many traditions. We hold ceremonies for many different things. We hold ceremonies for graduation from the police academy, for award ceremonies, for promotions, for retirements. And unfortunately, we also have ceremonies such as this when we've lost somebody. We hold these ceremonies for many different reasons. But we do these things to make sure the community knows how important our people, their accomplishments, and the milestones in their career are not only to us, but also to the community. We do this to congratulate and acknowledge them, but most importantly, we want to demonstrate our appreciation for their continued dedication to the public that they serve. Today, we're holding this gathering for the purpose of fulfilling some of those traditions that I just spoke of. We're going to be doing several things to honor Larry, Officer Candelari's sacrifice and his service. Among the things we're going to be doing, we're going to be unveiling a portrait of Larry in the Hall of Honor, where we honor all those that we've lost in the line of duty. The photos that are displayed in a portion of the building where the community has access to it, and that's for a reason. That's so that the community, when they come in, they can forever be reminded of the sacrifices which are sometimes made by those who serve them. This portrait also serves as a constant reminder for all of us in the Pasadena Police Department of our fallen comrades. Every time we walk down that hallway, it leads us to reflect and remember the time that we spent together with our fallen comrades and for these men's contributions they made to this police department while they were here. We're also going to be dedicating a marker on the front lawn in front of our police building, which is inscribed with Officer Candelari's end of watch date. And that's the date that we lost him. Again, this marker is an opportunity when the community walks by to know of the cost that's sometimes borne by those that are protecting them, but also to serve as a reminder and to indicate to them that there are those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Finally, we're going to be presenting a shadow box, which is another tradition that we have here, which is awarded to each officer upon the completion of a career. It's going to be presented to Julie Candelari, his wife. Each shadow box is similar, yet they're unique. There are things that are alike, but each one tells a unique story about the man's career. And I think if you get a chance, come up here and take a look at Larry's, and it'll better illustrate the point that I'm just trying to make there. In addition to our traditions, we're also going to be presenting a series of tokens of appreciation to the Candelari family from many individuals and entities who couldn't let Larry's passing go by without some demonstration of an appreciation for his service, and also in an effort to, again, honor Larry's sacrifice. The gathering today is intended to allow those outside our agency to see how supportive our community, both locally and nationally, is not only to law enforcement when we lose a brother, but also to the family in particular. More specifically for them, so they know that their sacrifice is not gone unrecognized. When one of us dies in the line of duty, the community and organizations come together with an outpouring of offerings for our fallen that ensures the family knows they're remembered of the impact that they had on this world while they were here. Again, when one of us falls, the community, our elected officials, and other entities make it a point to acknowledge and honor those who gave their life in a worthy cause. Unfortunately, this process sometimes takes time. Sometimes as bureaucracies grind, it takes several months for the word to be received and for the mementos to be prepared and the tokens to come in. So we wait to make sure that we've received them all. And that's the reason that the presentation is following several months after Larry's loss. But I think it's important that the community and those that Larry served have an opportunity to know about these honors that have been bestowed upon Larry. And we talk about his contributions to some extent. This isn't all of them, by the way, but this is a representative sample of the depth of appreciation for our fallen comrade. Included among the mementos that we'll be presenting today are a Medal of Honor that's been provided by the American Police Hall of Fame, a memorial token presented by the International Association of Chiefs of Police, the American flag, which is flown over our nation's capital in Officer Candelari's honor, and 2 additional flags that were flown over our state capitol in honor of Larry. And we also have a House resolution that, again, Representative Mary Ann Perez was responsible for initiating, where that session ended in Larry's honor that day. So again, we're here to honor Larry's memory, but also to acknowledge the impact that he had on this world. And remember Larry the man. Larry was a man who lived his life with purpose. And that purpose was to make a difference. As many of those who come into law enforcement, that's what he was about. Larry did make a difference. I can speak and vouch for that personally. He was one who was looked up to, but he led in his own way. He understood tradition and brotherhood, and that was driven home from 2 perspectives, or 2 experiences in his life, that with the Marine Corps and that with the police department. His service as a Marine, he was often repeating the motto, as the family knows, never above you, never below you, always beside you. And I will tell you, he practiced that, and he demanded that of those around him. As a police officer, as his wife Julie told me, he wanted those who worked here to train hard and to be safe every day. And Larry pushed for that safety while he was here. Larry was about service to his fellow man, too, whether it was a DARE officer and making an impact with those kids and no telling how many lives he impacted, or being a police officer on the street, or working in narcotics, or in SWAT, and the other agencies that he impacted where he trained with SWAT. He made a difference, and he lived his life to the fullest extent. He let his actions speak for him. And as I said at his funeral, he exuded a quiet confidence that others recognized and they were reassured by. And that confidence and quiet style of leadership had an impact on all those around him. It impacted me. It impacted everyone who knew him, everyone who worked with him. I know that opinion is shared by many others. It made all who served with him, I think, a little better at the job that they do. And no doubt, this world was made better because Larry was here and he lived his life. With that said, I think it's only fitting that we're here today to honor Larry once again and to help the family know and appreciate what Larry represented to both us and to the community that he served. So with that said, I think it's time to get on with the presentations. At this time, Seth, would you join me up here, please? At this point, gentlemen, I need the Medal of Honor that's provided by the American Police Hall of Fame. This is a Medal of Honor award that is presented by the American Police Hall of Fame in memory of Larry Dale Candelari, who in the performance of his duties as a public safety officer gave his life on April 26, 2013, protecting life and property, that we the living dedicate ourselves to his memory, and the supreme sacrifice that he made. This posthumous award is public recognition of the honor in which we will forever honor him by etching his name in the Police Hall of Fame Memorial, so that his sacrifice, his dedication to humanity, and justice will always be remembered by generations to come. And I was remiss, Seth Candelari is Officer Candelari's son. Okay. I'll stay up here for just a moment. Okay. All right. And there's one other addition, the memorial token provided by the IACP. Next. Okay, thanks, Tom. This is also presented to Seth Candelari, Larry's son, in memory of Larry Dale Candelari. And it has an inscription on it that reads, "The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion." Proverbs 28:1. Okay, thank you. Seth, why don't you hang on just for a moment. Larry has one more son, Alec. Alec can't be here today because he is a Marine. Seth and Alec both followed Larry into the Marine Corps. And they're both very proud of it, and I will tell you, Larry was very proud of it. And he made that pride apparent to everyone at every opportunity. Alec is again serving our country. He's out of the country right now, so I'm going to ask Seth to stand in for Alec to receive an American flag that's provided by the House of Representatives, Ted Poe. This was flown over our nation's capital. Let me read what comes with it. That's his favorite judge. I've eaten lunch with Ted Poe several times. He's a hoot. He's a good man, too, and he's very patriotic. The flag of the United States of America. This is to certify that the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol on June 27, 2013. At the request of the Honorable Ted Poe, Member of Congress, this flag was flown for Officer Larry Dale Candelari, in memory of his service for the Pasadena Police Department. Signed, Stephen T. Ayers, Architect of the Capitol. And then has a certificate said in memory of Officer Larry Candelari for his sacrifice while serving the Pasadena Police Department, June 27, 2014. Great, thanks. Okay. Now, if I could ask Larry's brother, JJ, to join me. JJ, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for being here. Yes, sir, I know. If you would you stay here for
Yes,
set that
sir.
for him? Thank you. Okay, we have a Texas flag that's provided by State Representative Mary Ann Perez. Thank you very much. Tom, I may? There we go. And this is a flag that was flown over the state of Texas Capitol. And this is from the House of Representatives. This certifies that the Texas flag herewith presented to Family Candelari by State Representative Mary Ann Perez was flown over at the Capitol of the sovereign state of Texas in honor of Officer Larry Candelari, in witness therefore and pursuant to the authority vested in me. And it says Mary Ann Perez. Thank you. Okay, you want a photo? Okay, thank you. And now we have another one that's a little larger.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
Over there?
on this one, yes, sir.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No problem.
This is going to require a little more reading. But this is another Texas flag that was provided by Governor Rick Perry. And let me read you Governor Perry's letter. On behalf of the people of Texas, please accept my deepest condolences for the loss of your loved one. I am honored to present to you this flag in memory of Larry, who served our great state with honor and dignity. As the ultimate symbol of our state, the flag serves as both a token of gratitude and as a reminder of the importance of such service, firmly proclaiming the goodness emerging from the sacrifices of all peace officers in the state of Texas. The state of Texas is forever in your debt for your support, commitment, and patience. Signed, Governor Rick Perry. In addition to that, we have a letter from Mr. Kim Vickers, who's the executive director of our Texas Commission on Law Enforcement Officers and Standards in Education, our certification, those responsible for certifying police officers. And his letter states in part, "We are greatly aware of the sacrifices made by the family of a peace officer in dealing with the demands of law enforcement profession. The generosity of the citizens of Texas has made possible the recognition of these sacrifices through the gift of the flag you are receiving. My hopes are this flag will serve as a positive reminder of the profound greatness of Larry's service to the people of Texas." So, JJ, if you'll be sure Seth gets it. Okay, or you can work it out.
I'm not going to pick this up.
Okay, no, you can, no, please leave it there for display. Thank you so much. Okay, Julie, would you join me, please? And Julie is Larry's wife. We've come to know each other very well last few months. This is, the shadow box is something, as I said, that is awarded to an officer upon a completion of a career. Now, unfortunately, Larry was taken from us early, but it doesn't mean that we don't fulfill our commitment to honor his years of service and what he did for this community. So I have to my left here a shadow box that's provided by the Pasadena Police Department to Julie that represents Larry's career here. And again, every shadow box, as I said, there are similarities, there are certain things that are in there, but I will tell you, this is certainly a very impressive shadow box. And in the center, if you see the ribbon, that is the Medal of Honor to honor Larry's service. But in addition to that, he has many what we call challenge coins that talk or speak to his experiences, and it talks about his work with outside entities and agencies, from narcotics to SWAT. This is a pretty storied career. And again, I would invite you, after this dedication ceremony is over, to come back in and to take advantage and to look at the shadow box. It is very impressive. And Julie, I mean, this is for you and your family. Now, would you like to make a few remarks?
I don't know what this man has with rainy and then cold weather, because he seemed to do that to us last time too. It just doesn't make any sense, but it kind of let me know that he had this all planned somehow, some way. I can't tell you enough how much each one of you guys mean to me and what you meant to him. Some of them were special enough to be called his babies. Of course, they were much younger. He did believe in accountability and holding not only himself but his fellow officers accountable for their actions, accountable for their learning. You know, we're all human. We make mistakes. Say, yep, messed up. Now what do I do? How do I learn, and how do I get better? And that's what he stood for. He loved his country more than you know. The whole time his kids graduated from Marine Corps boot camp, from the time we landed in San Diego to the time we took off, he did not take off his sunglasses because he was crying behind them the whole time. From the time he saw the first flag and colors till the time he got to see his blessed parade deck. But he loved his God, and he loved his family, and he loved his Tay, his grandbaby Tay. And, you know, there's scripture that says that God knows us before we were even knitted in our mother's wombs. So I know now that as we are expecting a new grandbaby, that he has told that baby all about us and about his fellow Marines and his fellow officers. So yes, we're excited. We're going to have a new baby in October. We don't want Dana to have to wait too long, but we sure would like to have it on his birthday, but we've managed to miss his birthday, so he'll have bookend grandbabies around his birthday. I am learning to ask for help. This is something I have had to learn to do, and my friend Tony Phil, who has been on my crutch, I'm trying to ask for help. That's something I've had to learn out of this, because I know that you do want to help. Another thing I've learned is it's okay to cry. It took a lot of therapy on that one, because I didn't want y'all to hurt. But I count it an honor that you shed tears with me, because it means you loved him too. And he touched your family too. So it's okay. We can have snot slinging fits anytime you want to. But I thank all the dignitaries that came. Henry, wow, you know what he thought about you. So he was so proud of you. And when he came strutting home the day, and he goes, "Henry Schlieffen, please." So Henry and him go way back because my parents have had a house in Galveston forever. So Mom didn't even realize who you were, Henry, until I reminded her a minute ago. But I don't plan on going away. I plan on being here to support y'all too. And I look out here and I'm seeing Anthony, who always gave a hard time, and I'm remembering stories about shotguns falling apart when they were trying to get to Anthony. Seth just got bit by one of their dogs, and it reminded me of the bite from King. Those stories are precious. If you know them, share them. And that's what keeps his passion and his tradition alive, is by stories. You know, the Bible started off with just stories being told until it was actually written. So that's our legacy. That's how we leave it. We just tell the stories. We don't stop talking about him. My kid's youngest son, Alec, he's on some weird boat called, I don't know, a name this big, floating around Okinawa and going on his way to North Korea, which he's not fond of cold weather, so we'll see how that goes. South Korea, excuse me. Show of force for North Korea. Anyway, remind him who we are. Knowing Alec, he would try to take on North Korea, though. But I asked the chief who would film it, so thank you guys for filming it for me. He's excited. We have adopted a family of Marines through this. His whole platoon, and everybody that comes into 3rd Force Recon out there knows who Candy is, and the oldest Candy, not the youngest one. And it is a big family, so he's touched a lot of lives, even in death. I know where he is, and not that I am looking forward to seeing him again, and hope that we can all together have one big party when we get there and get to see him again. So thank y'all very much.
This is something that is important, as I said, to our police department. As you see this hallway here, when we walk down this hallway, you cannot walk down this hallway without stopping and reflecting about the sacrifice that they made and the men who we particularly served with as well. And certainly you go back to even Officer Dowdy and you listen, and everybody knows his story. And everybody knows about the risk associated with law enforcement. And they hope their picture is never on the wall. But I will tell you, to a man and to a woman, every picture that's up here is honored by every officer who has the privilege of wearing the badge of the Pasadena Police Department. At this time, gentlemen, if you would unveil the photo. Thanks. Okay, I want to also, for the sake of the family and everyone else, to at least hear the words of the resolution, or portion of the resolution from the state of Texas. Whereas the untimely death of Officer Larry Dale Candelari of the Pasadena Police Department on April 26, 2013, at the age of 49, has brought a great loss to this family, fellow peace officers, and many friends. And whereas held in high regard by the law enforcement community, Officer Candelari endeared himself to others with his upbeat and energetic personality. He was selflessly coming to the aid of motorists at the site of an automobile accident while off duty when his life was tragically cut short. And whereas Texans everywhere owe an immeasurable debt of gratitude to the courageous men and women who dedicate themselves to the public welfare, and Officer Candelari exemplified the high standards of his profession, now, therefore, be it resolved that the House of Representatives of the 83rd Texas Legislature, first called session, hereby pay tribute to the memory of Larry Dale Candelari and extend sincere sympathy to the members of his family, and be it further resolved that an official copy of this resolution be prepared for his family, and that when the Texas House of Representatives adjourns this day, it do so in memory of Officer Larry Candelari.
I hope that it means that when you guys walk past it, touch it, say hi, high five the picture, whatever. But keep him in your hearts, and he's your friend. He's there. Just he can still hear.
He
May
will
not be breathing, but he's still here.
he will always be there with us. As I said earlier in talking about the marker, this is another indication when people or citizens who come by to know the sacrifices have been made by some of our officers. And unfortunately, Larry's name has been added. The inscription reads, "In memory of Officer Larry D. Candelari, killed in the line of duty, April 26, 2013. We just made an addition, at the suggestion of Glenda Hamilton, as a matter of fact, of a bench where family members and officers actually can come and sit and reflect on the relationship that they had. And as another indication of the support of the community, again, this marker came at no cost to the police department of the city because of the fact that Rosewood Funeral Home donated. They were so helpful in the services, and every issue we've had or any request we've had, they've stepped up. But again, that's a reflection of the community. I want to also announce that at the end of each year, there's an official notification made of those who will be recognized on the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, where the name will be inscribed. And Larry's name will be inscribed this May, and his memory will be honored at the Police Week Memorial Service, and his name again will be inscribed on that wall of honor. You know, I know Larry's familiar with this prayer. I don't know that he ever prayed it, but I thought it'd be a fitting way to end our dedication today. It's called the Policeman's Prayer, and it states, "When I start my tour of duty, God, wherever crime may be, as I walk the darkened streets alone, let me be close to Thee. Please give me understanding with both the young and old. Let me listen with attention until their story's told. Let me never make a judgment in a rash or callous way, but let me hold my patience. Let each man have his say. Lord, if some dark and dreary night I must give up my life, Lord, with your understanding love, protect my children and my wife." And I will tell you, obviously, Larry is no longer here with us. He's here with us in spirit, though, and we will, again, always be there for you, Julie, and we will step up for whatever needs you or the family may have. And I hope that this dedication day served honor to Larry's memory.
It's wonderful. Thank
All
you
right.
for making it happen.